And here we go. We have a running back trade to CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. According to Ian Rappaport, the Bengals are now trading, instead of releasing, Joe Mixon to the Texans to pair him up with CJ Stroud and this insanely good Texans roster, rather than just letting him walk in free agency. So now Zach Moss heads to Cincinnati with the Bengals, and Joe Mixon heads to Houston with CJ Stroud. Now, in this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about Joe Mixon and the Houston Texans going forward. This is a really good signing, or a really good trade. I don't know what they gave up just yet, so when you guys do hear what they gave up, please comment down below the actual compensation for the deal for me, please, as well as leave a letter grade for the Texans offseason so far. You add Fadukasi, you add Danico Autry, Azeez Al-Shaair, Jeff Okudah, Mike Ford, Lonnie Johnson, and now Joe Mixon. The team is making moves. D'Amico Ryans is doing an insane job, and let's break down the Joe Mixon one real quick. So obviously the first thing we look at when we see the Houston Texans roster is Dameon Pierce being like that main guy, right? But Devin Singletary left in free agency, leaving a little bit of a hole in that running back area. Now, we heard a lot about Saquon Barkley, a little bit about Derrick Henry, but Joe Mixon is the guy that ends up coming to the Houston Texans. Now, this is a solid addition. Mixon, only 27 years old, 6'1", 220 pounds, has been a workhorse pretty much since he came out of college. Oklahoma is where he went, but in his career has tallied up over 97 games played, 1,500 carries for 6,400 yards, 49 touchdowns, and get this, has averaged 4.1 yards per carry his entire career. Now, listen to this. The Houston Texans last season averaged just 3.7 yards on the ground per carry. Guys, that is really bad. That was actually ranking number 29th in the NFL. They needed to add a running back, and Joe Mixon was a good guy to grab. Averaging 4.1 yards per carry throughout his NFL career is really, really good. Now, you go back to this last season, he did average 4 yards per carry, but he has won up to, 5 yards per carry at some point of his career. He's been a very reliable running back. And I think in here in Houston, I think splitting time instead of being the workhorse will, one, keep his stamina up, but also keep him healthy. I think this is something that can be really, really useful here in Houston. And I really do like the addition of Joe Mixon, right? They've done such a good job adding to this defense, and I was just waiting to see, was it going to be Derrick Henry? Was it going to be, Saquon Barkley? Ends up being Joe Mixon, and I'm honestly pretty happy about it. Now, in terms of their running game last year, 28th in rush yards per game, makes them a little bit one-dimensional last season. Now, you added Joe Mixon, you get the run game going this year, and just like that, you turn into, very unpredictable, and that's something that you need to be in the NFL. They also rank number 25 in rushing touchdowns per game. Last season, Joe Mixon had 9 rushing touchdowns. Go back to 2021, he had 13. This man can get into the end zone, right? Alongside Dameon Pierce, who they do like as well, I think this is going to change a lot for the Houston Texans. Now, with that being said, comment down below, what do you think they need to do next? They're losing a lot of guys, linebackers. They brought in one in Azeez Al-Shaair, which I think is going to be, going to pay off. I think he's a good one. But do you think offensively they need to do anything? It looks like the wide receiver room is set. Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Robert Woods, Noah Brown, John Mechie, Xavier Hutchinson. I feel like the wide receiver room is set. Offensive line looks pretty good to me. Maybe want some backup, left tackle, right? Backup left tackle could help a little bit. And then defensively, I think they've already made some really solid moves. Maybe some linebacker depth. But other than that, they've done such a good job this offseason. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Hey, welcome to Houston, Joe Mixon.